Hi everybody, I'm Cheryl Keaton and I'm a real estate agent with J. Rockcliffe Realtors in Danville, California. I'm here today with Hunter Marquardt with RPM Mortgage. He's the #1 loan agent and I'd like to ask him some questions about the current real estate market and interest rates. Hunter, what do you think interest rates are doing for the market at this time?
Well, I think interest rates are at historic lows. They've been they move every single day. Interest rates move like the stock market moves, but historically we're sitting at 55, 60-year lows right now. So the opportunity, it affects your payments a great deal when you have interest rates in the threes and low fours. So I think that's helping the real estate market overall. I mean, it's definitely, obviously, it's a very competitive market right now. I think interest rates will stay relatively low for a reasonable amount of time. I think there's talks in the Fed that towards the end of 2015 we'll start to see short-term interest rates potentially rise. But we've also heard that we've heard that's supposed to be happening really in the last 12 to 18 months, and it has yet to take shape because the economy globally isn't really getting the start that I think people anticipated. So interest rates are still great. We're going to see them go up and down on a daily basis, on a monthly basis. But overall, I mean, if someone's interested in buying a house and they want to take advantage of low interest rates, now's the time to do it.
I'm glad you brought that up. What would you say to a buyer who might be on the fence about interest rates right now? I know that I'm encouraging my buyers to get out there and start looking as spring is coming. I'm seeing a little bit more inventory, and I think it's a great time to take advantage of the low interest rates just because you never know what the market's going to do and if the Fed is going to raise the rates.
Sure. Well, I mean, at some point, interest rates will go up, right? I mean, depending on whether or not that's in the fall, whether or not it's next year, I don't know. I just know that, admittedly, you only know when you missed the bottom by looking backwards, knowing that you missed the bottom. Interest rates, when interest rates are moving 1/8 of a percentage point, it's not a big deal. It doesn't affect a payment that much. But when interest rates start moving a point, when a full percentage point, it will absolutely impact people's ability to afford a house. And I think if you look at historically, interest rates tend to drift down. I mean, interest rates have drifted down over the past 8 to 10 years. When they do go up, like there was one period of time after in 2007 where interest rates shot up, they drift down, they shoot up. So unfortunately, it's too late. I have clients even with refinances. Oh, well, when interest rates get to this point, Hunter, call me. It's too late at that point. They have a tendency to rise quickly and to drift down. So, I mean, I think if you wanted to take advantage of the interest rates, I think you have to do it sooner than later.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your input. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Is there anything else that you would recommend to first-time home buyers about the loan process and getting started? What things that they need to gather and get to you so that they can get on their way to achieving their goal of homeownership?
Well, I think especially for first-time home buyers in this environment, it's a blessing and a curse. You were able to miss the mortgage meltdown of 2007 when the process was, we were lending, quite frankly, to too many people, and we didn't have, I say we, I mean the industry as a whole, the guidelines that were in place, they were much easier, and that didn't help home buyers because people in our industry were putting them into products that they shouldn't necessarily have been buying. Now the process is more rigorous, so I think from a first-time home buyer perspective, I would take the time up front to put together the documents that a lender needs you to put together. Obviously, we'd love to be that lender for you, but even if not, go through the process of putting the documents together. Sit down with the loan officer. I think you would agree. The lending side of our business really has a greater impact than ever before on your ability to get your offer accepted. So I think you need to sit down with the person that's going to be lending you the money and get a feel for them as to whether or not they're capable or not, because they will impact the transaction. But take the time to understand what the numbers are, because even after the mortgage meltdown, there's still what a lender will approve you for versus what you can afford can still be two different things. And you want to make sure that you're comfortable with what your payment looks like and that you really understand what you're getting into. So I think you just have to be very diligent up front, and then the process becomes easier as you look for your home.
I think that's a great tip. I always recommend that my first-time home buyers really do look at the numbers and make sure that they are comfortable with that payment, because I think you're right. Sometimes they might be surprised at how much they are pre-approved for,
Right.
but they might not necessarily feel comfortable with that number. So I think that's great advice. Thank you so much for
Absolutely.
taking the time.
Thank you.
I'm Cheryl Keaton with J. Rockcliffe Realtors, and this is Hunter Marquardt. If you have any questions regarding buying a home or getting pre-approved for a first-time home loan or any home loan, give us a call. Our numbers are at the bottom of the screen.
Thanks so much.